was kind of hurried after the McNeese game. First of all, obviously it was a big win for us. That may be an understatement. It was a very good game, very enjoyable game to coach, a hard-fought game. It looked like we had an opportunity there to really go way up on them and put it away. I don't know why in my mind I didn't think it'd go down that way. I knew that we were going to win one in Lake Charles. It was going to have to be a hard-fought down-the-wire game. Very happy for this bunch of seniors and this team for as hard as they've worked over the length of time. It was time for us to win one of those, and to be the last game of the year and the last chance to do it against McNeese, it was just made it even more special, and I'm glad I was there to be a part of it. And you want them to say something about McNeese? You want to ask questions about McNeese? How you want to do next? Sure. The play involving Jace and the ball on the ground and the scooping up and the scoring, the whole deal was just unbelievable. I've never been a part of anything exactly like that. What happened, obviously, live, boom, ball's on the ground, it's scooped up fast, here we go, the ball's in the end zone, and we're kind of, well, what just happened? And then all these flags fly out, and the referee comes over to me and says, we're ruling it a fumble on the field, touchdown McNeese, but McNeese has two 15-yard penalties on the play, one on the bench and one for taunting. Here's your options. We can move the extra point back 30 yards, which would make it roughly a 50-yard field goal. We can move them back 30 yards on the kickoff, or you can take 1 and 1. And that kind of, I'd never had that option before. So I said, well, before I decide all that, I want to challenge the play, because you don't have to challenge it. It's a scoring play. We review all scoring plays, so I didn't even have to waste a challenge. So my thought process while I was waiting was what would be the best option for that. I decided let's move the extra point back 30 yards in hopes that he can't make a 50-yard extra point. We'll only be down 6 with plenty of time and timeouts. We can go down the field, score, kick the extra point, win by 1. He came up to me prior to getting on the mic and said, we're ruling it an incomplete pass. I said, well, what about the two 15-yarders? He goes, you get both of them. I went, oh boy. So I got on the headset. I said, guys, shh, listen up. You're fixing to hear some really ticked off Cajuns right now. Listen to this when he announces this. And I've never been a part of anything like that, but it was time that we got a break like that. It seemed like we'd been on the other end of some of those calls this year. So, but I'd never been a part of anything like that. And I'm glad from that point we went on and took care of business and took it down the field and scored. We still had a lot of work to do even after that. All right, now, next. Where are we going next?
I'll put it up for questions.
Okay.
And Caleb,
For me, it was over a lot before the McNeese game, because I didn't really put everything on that game. I was just as proud of this team prior to that game, of what we had done. To me, the McNeese game was a bonus. Now, I understand there's a lot of other people that don't see it that way, but I really felt that way. And I said, I'm going to enjoy this week. I'm going to enjoy this game. But prior to that game, I knew the improvement we had made. I knew the steps we had taken. If we'd have went on over to McNeese and lost, I'd have definitely been disappointed after the game, but I wouldn't have been any more proud than I was when we won it. I was a lot happier, but I was very proud of what we accomplished prior to it. I think that game just helps put the icing on the cake, and it was really for our seniors and for our players that had worked so hard. They deserved an opportunity to play well and win a game like that, and I'm glad they got to do it. Well, for Stephen F., in their defense, they beat Southeastern. They were the only team to do that. Other than that, that was their so-called signature win, if you want to give them a win, but they wouldn't beat McNeese in Lake Charles. So they beat 2 ranked teams to our 1. So, that you can have a really good debate there. McNeese going to our game, our wins and losses to me were just about identical. For them to be ranked and being given consideration to make the playoffs as they won, we should have been given the same consideration if we beat them, because our wins and losses was very similar to each other. But we beat McNeese, so that eliminated them. If you look at us and Stephen F. head-to-head, like I said, I think they got 2 wins against ranked teams. We only got 1, and I can understand the case that was made for them. And I wish them luck. I want them to go do well because they're going to represent our league, and I wish them the best. Well, one of my favorite memories is about a month ago when we were doing the 2-minute drill, and he ran into you, and you took a shot at him, and we had a bench clearing brawl. I thought we was going to lose. Our starting lineman and our starting quarterback was going to break his hand to fight at the end of practice. It was that. I'm telling you, that was hilarious and something I'll never forget. We had coaches involved, and that was the most heated fight I've ever seen at a practice. It was hilarious, but I just want to make sure y'all knew that.
Is that why you have to sit between?
Yeah. Well, that's that would have made for good writing for us to lose our starting quarterback in practice because he hit somebody in the head, breaks his hand. Yeah.
Coach, I know.
Oh, hold on. Now, you're gonna have to elaborate now. You can't just let Coach take all the glory on that comment.
Oh, I pretty much nailed it. He shouldn't have gotten that close to the quarterback, and I don't know what he did, but he hit him or bumped him or something, and Caleb hauls off and hits him. So here we go. And then both sides jump in, coaches jump in, and oh yeah. All right, now you can ask what you want, but that's what happened now.
That's what, he's not lying, that's what happened.
Yeah, we had it all on film. We got to sit there and blow by blow. And, oh, we film everything.
Freedom of information.
Highlights of the 2014 season.
When I was a freshman in school on scout team, I remember they told us to.
We set up dates, recruiting dates, things on the calendar. The first pressing thing is the junior college midterm signing date in December. If we need to get any guys in that can get here in January, that's first. Then setting up our recruiting weekends, our high school weekends in January. And where we're going to be there is we're going to recruit games, we're going to go see those kind of things. We did a lot of that today. And then after that, we got to sit back and see. Well, offensively, we lost 5 starters. We lost 5 very good players that's played a while for us. Obviously, Caleb, 2-year starter at quarterback. Mark's been out there at receiver. 2 offensive linemen, our center and left tackle, and then our tight end. And all 5 of those guys have played well, and that's the immediate needs, and that'll come from 2 places: younger players moving up and recruiting. Defensively, we're losing 2 defensive linemen and 2 DBs. So those are all players that can play. On the negative side, those are 9 players that have all played well for us. On the positive side, it's only 9. But now I think we're to the point in the program we're going to have this every year. We hope to have a good senior class every year that can play and help us win that we have to replace. And this is certainly going to be one. They've done a great job, and you don't want to replace them. You don't. You'd like to see them keep on playing. This is what happens in your program. You lose players, and they run out of eligibility, and you have to replace them. So we got to do a good job in recruiting and coaching our younger players this spring and bringing them on.
How many scholarships?
We're going to have right at about 18 to 19 because we had about 12, but we've had a number of young men, about 3 medical wise. I think we'll get their scholarships back. As of today, we have about 13, but I think that number will increase because we have a couple of young men we need to talk to see where they stand, but we're not able to play all year that will probably go on medical scholarships.
I never meant to ask Alex, are you going to try to, Alex Law, you going to get him on medical register?
He's one of them. We got to see where he is and where he stands. We got some meetings to take place here in the next few weeks. That's one of them. I think, and I'm not just saying this because they're sitting here, I think our seniors had a lot to do with that. We had very good leadership from our older players. I told them Thursday night, I think a couple of years ago we were close to this group talent-wise. What we didn't have the experience, and we didn't really have the leadership that we had. This group of seniors have done a very good job of just showing up every day on time, working hard, and making the people around them do the same thing. And it's carried over. It's been contagious, and you've just seen I don't know what would be the right word, some consistency from week to week in the way we prepare. And all we've done is keep doing that every week, and we just slowly got better as the season went on to where we could compete with these teams, these good teams towards the end of the year. And that's a credit to our older players and our senior class. Well, I don't think it could jump any higher. I mean, we set the bar about as high as you could set it this year. What we'd like to do now is consistently be in the hunt and be in the mix and finish as high as we finished or higher every year and become one of those perennial teams. We have not done that. This is our first year to kind of jump up a little bit, so we'll see. That challenge really is, can we become a good football program year in, year out? You see some teams in our league that do. You see some that are kind of up and down, kind of yo-yo-ish. We want to be one of those that year in, year out, we're a perennial team. And that's easy to say, very difficult to do, because this is a very difficult league. So I'm going to answer it. To get this done and be on the front end of a contract to where that's not even being discussed or in the mix, to where we can just concentrate on football and getting better and not have to look over my shoulder. And it didn't bother me as much as I was bothered by how it bothered other people. And I understand, I'm not complaining, that's part of it, is the business. You can't be on the first year of a contract every year when you're a coach, and that's fine, I got no problem with that, but okay, let's put this to bed, let's do something, let's get together and agree on something, let's move on. I think if we do that, the sky the limits here. We got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things we need to improve on as a program, but I'm ready to go to work. You know.
What kind of things do you think the team next year needs to work on, the team that you're training?
Well, first thing we got to do is replace the players we're losing, and we got to get more depth. I think any good team in this league, you can tell the difference towards the end of the year when injuries come up, their depth. And the teams that are in the hunt every year can handle that and have more than 11 stars that play. So as a program, we want to get more players and more depth, and that comes with recruiting and experience and stability. I think that's a big part of it. I think when you go to a senior in high school's home, they want to hear, I've been here X amount of years and I'm going to be here for your 4 or 5 years. They want stability in the program. When you don't have that, that's when you have the programs that are up and down all the time. So that's a big part of it. Just be the way I've always been. My whole deal's never been really about money. Obviously, everybody who works for a living wants to make as much as they possibly can. But I didn't come here just for the money. I came here, in my mind, I came here at 46, and I was wanting to coach into my 60s, and I wanted this to be my last job. I want to stay here and build for a while. I've traveled a lot. I've been able to travel all over the world playing and coaching football. I was tired of traveling, and I saw this as an opportunity to close to home to build something and build it over the long haul, and I want to continue to do that. And I'll make as much money as I can when I can, but it's about, like I said, building a program, and we're just now getting this thing going. I don't want to have to start over if I don't have to, because the next 5 years around here should be a heck of a lot more fun than the last 5. We should see more winning. We should see more growth. We should see more things working in our favor due to the hard work we've done the last 5 years. But that's what you want to see. You want to see steady improvement. I think we've done that. I think anybody who's kept up with our program from day one, we've improved every year. Every year we have finished higher than we've been picked. Every year. And we want to continue to do that. And that's what we want to see. We want to see steady improvement in the right direction. We'll see. We'll see. Especially our offensive guys. They got great stats to throw out in areas that they don't know them. And obviously, a lot of times you're dealing with an all-star games, putting them together from areas of the country you're not very familiar with people. So we got some players with some good stats, and we got some players that are very deserving. But that's another thing that we'll have to pursue and try to help with the next few weeks.